Yeah, it's just basically like a portrait of American youth, really, through sort of the DIY music scene. And yeah, just like what it's like to live, or attempt to live, on the fringes of modern America, really. The DIY music scene is basically like a group of people who are just going to play music no matter what, and they basically don't have a normal home. They just like play show to show, travel around the country, get a free meal when they play a show, hopefully a bed if they're lucky. But basically it all works just because everyone helps each other out. People know other people in different places, and they say, come to Oberlin, we've got like a church you can play in and a squat that you can stay in. They're like, cool, let's do it. So,
and all the bands are like helping each other out, and they or like one band will take another band on tour, and then vice versa, and even like all those bands in that scene, the bands that get bigger still sort of include those smaller bands within their tours and stuff. So yeah, it was
it was a bit weird. But Brendan is like such a good like planner of all that stuff. He's like properly like get stuff sorted. But a few times he
didn't screw up really, did he? Yeah.
No, a few times we slept in the car, and one time we didn't have anywhere to sleep and we slept in a tent in a garden, just like
hugging the red
camera, between us, which was quite strange.
Yeah, insurance-wise, we must have been pretty screwed a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But he's like, he was telling us some like horror stories from our previous tours, like sleeping in like a dungeon with loads of like dogs like chained up or something. It sounds quite scary, but yeah, on our one it was alright. I'm trying to think the worst place we slept. It's that place
possibly
in Oberlin, yeah. In this house where literally waking up and there's like, I'm pretty sure Jay woke up, there's like a cigarette in his hair.
Literally like cigarette butts like just like around your face when you wake up.
Is this after a night of partying, or is it just people?
No, this was just their house, yeah.
People just put cigarette butts there.
Yeah, I think they were just all there. We didn't realise we went to sleep, just woke up, just like cigarette butts everywhere. Amazing.
He's pretty, he's cool, yeah. He grew up in Missouri and like left school when he was like a teenager, and then just started playing shows with, he like played early shows with Bonnie Prince Billy, and just toured for like 15 years. And I think a few like random record labels in America and England would be really interested just in his like vibe. Obviously knowing he wouldn't send any records, but just say, cool, we'll like put out one record just because we think you're a cool guy and we'll sort of look after you for a little bit. So we were doing music videos for a record label in London when we first came out of film school, and he came to that label for like one single release basically. So then hung out with him and made a video for him, and just was like filming him in his house where he was staying in like a sort of quite like wet room somewhere. And then he would tell us about these tours and about what it was like in America on these tours. So we just said, it sounded like a cool sort of prospect for a film. So kept in touch with him for like 2 years, and then just on New Year's Eve one year, just sort of talking about what we wanted to do the next year, sort of thing. So just started properly like emailing him about it and saying, let's do it. And he said up until like 4 days before we went on tour, he was still like, are they actually going to come over? This is, But so then that was it.
Yeah, I think before we went, we sort of established that it was going to, in some way, be about like choice, and the fact that Brendan has chosen to sort of do this. He could like, he's had opportunities to do other things or bigger shows and everything, and whether it's this life suits him or he sort of just gravitates towards it. And he says in the film, he's chosen this path. So I think we always knew that it was about choice, but we didn't really know how it was going to manifest itself. And I think meeting so many people on tour, like every day, loads of different people, everyone's got like a different ambition. Everyone's like talking to you about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it was just interesting seeing like how many people were actually doing that and how many were just still living in their like parents' basement or whatever. The title sort of came from this idea of these sort of kids coming out at night, really, just like across America, all these kids like the moon comes out, and these sort of kids that maybe were on the fringes of like I don't know, groups at school or whatever. Just that's when they're really like coming into their element. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely like a little bit abstract, but we sort of just quite liked it.
The film screened. It was really hot.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, I mean, it was quite weird being in there just 'cause it was so hot. I feel quite guilty people being in the cinema on that day. But yeah, it seemed cool, man. Yeah. Everything here is good. Raindance.
Amazing.
It's good
little
vibes.
bag with a
Great
poster in
bag.
it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
One of our favourite festivals as of yet.